Hi, I'm Erin Crane. I'm a student in EDM 310 at the University of South Alabama, and I'm here with Doug Crane. He's a teacher in the public school system in Mississippi, and I'm going to let him give his introduction because he can do it a lot better than I can.
Well, like you said, I'm Doug Crane. I've been a teacher, coach, slash administrator in private, public, Christian schools for 28 years now. I'm presently at East Central High School teaching high school math.
Have you always been a teacher, or have you done any other positions?
I've been all sorts of positions as far as coaching and athletic directors, teaching. I've been a math supervisor of Moss Point School Systems for a few years, and I have been a high school principal. Also, when I was at Moss Point as a math coordinator, we had a math team that won several awards over the course of 6 years. Kids getting tons of money of scholarships to different universities across the Southeast, and had a lot of winners come out of that group. A lot of doctors, lawyers, all sorts of very successful kids.
This class teaches us as teachers how to implement technology into our classrooms. Can you tell me when you started facing having to put technology into your classroom?
Now, I was probably about the last one on the planet to put technology into my classroom. I wasn't a big fan of it when it came in. First of all, I didn't know anything about it, and I was very successful in the way I did things already, so I don't change just for the sake of change. Just because somebody dangles that pretty little worm in front of me don't mean it's going to be a good thing for us to go do. So I had to be sold on it. I do use technology a lot more now than I ever have, and I have seen some good merits in it. I do have concerns that we sometimes sacrifice good hands-on teaching. Let's teach kids how to problem solve, how to attack problems, and figure out where to go, because we can't teach them everything they're going to face. And sometimes we sacrifice just actually getting hands on that kid and working with him on those things for all the bells and whistles and the little entertainment things that technology sometimes brings, that holds their interest but doesn't necessarily teach them how to attack problems that they're going to see down the road.
What kind of technology did y'all use when you started off?
When I started 28 years ago, there was no technology. I didn't have a computer, access to any computers. Don't know there was any computers. We didn't use them in the schools, in the classroom. It was chalkboard and your book, pencil and paper, and using what God gave you in your head and learn how to develop that. And since then it's grown a lot, from the chalkboards to the marker boards, from the marker boards down to the Prometheans and all the technology that brings in, able to access the internet and everything in the classroom, which does have some strong points to it. But so, like I said, sometimes we get too much into let's entertain these kids instead of let's teach these kids.
So the Promethean board was the first form of technology you had to use in the classroom?
Computer in the classroom was probably first. Though my kids didn't use it, I had to use it. So it was really more technology on my end of it. A lot of teachers are using that, but in math, you have to just sit down and work with these problems and fight it out. And you can't get 30 kids on a computer in your classroom. I never had access to 30 computers, so I didn't use the computers with my kids in the classroom, though that was the first form of technology we ran into. The Promethean is the first mass technology, I guess you could say, that could be available to the whole class.
And you said you're a math teacher, right?
High school math.
So what kind of technology do you use in math? Because I know it's a lot of pencil and paper, so how can you put that with math?
It's still pencil and paper. There's no placing that in a math class. The only thing that technology offers different really is in ways that you can present it to the kids to really draw attention to certain areas, certain aspects that they have trouble with, and you can kind of have it stand out a little bit so it gets their attention a little more. So you head off a few problems they'll run into later. Just different little things that really just draws their attention to what you're teaching them, instead of the chalkboard and the chalk, or the marker board and the marker. Now you can just make it stand out a little bit and it helps with your figures and stuff in geometry as you're drawing those, to be able to put something up there, then take something away, or put something up there and move something to it, and kind of tie things together. But it's still no replacement for sitting down there with your pencil and paper and go to work and figure it out.
Okay, so overall, you would say your attitude towards technology has changed?
Attitude towards technology is better than it was. Yes, it has changed tremendously, because I was several years before I actually received a Promethean board, probably 2 years before I actually received one. They tried to give me one in my classroom, and I just wouldn't take it. I told them, take it to Miss So-and-so, she'll use it, I won't. You'll waste however many thousands of dollars that you're buying that thing and putting it in my room for nothing. And finally, school had to have 100% participation. It's one of those, one of those dollars and cents things that they got to be able to say they got everybody on it. So I eventually had to take one. And since I've got it, I've received a little bit of training in it, and there's things I have found that works and helps, that I use. So my feelings on technology has changed, even though I still don't think that it's a replacement for everything. And you have to be very careful, or you'll end up as a teacher entertaining your kids, and they'll love you to death and they'll love your class, but are they actually learning at the rate that they need to, and something that they can take out into the workplace and be successful with, instead of just something they can play with on a computer and enjoy?
Okay, well, thank you for letting me do this interview with you today. Again, I'm Erin Crane, and this is Doug Crane. Thank you for being a part of this.
You're welcome. Thank you.